All right, everyone. It's just about 9 o'clock now. I'm so excited to be doing this call with one of my very good It Works friends, Lisa Tolbert. We were, kind of challenged by our upline to get together with some sidelines and do a call for all of you. So Lisa and I got together, and we were talking about what we should talk about tonight. And we were just talking about how we both have had really great results with the products with It Works. So that's kind of where this all started. So my name is Caity Metz. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a double diamond from now Newton, New Jersey. I had to think about that. I just moved this weekend. And Lisa, do you want to say hi?
Sure. My name is Lisa Tolbert, and I am a diamond from Eagle Lake, Minnesota.
Awesome. So we're going to tell our stories of our experiences with the product, and we're going to just talk a little bit about maybe how we've used that to grow our businesses. So Lisa, why don't you go first?
Okay. So I was introduced to the wrap several years ago, and actually when I got the invite, I looked at it, and she had emailed it to me, and I thought, $25 for a wrap, there's no way that's going to work. And then a few years later, my friend Liz started posting on Facebook about the wraps, and I swung by her house one day, just got one, didn't really listen to the instructions, didn't drink any water. I tried it, didn't see a difference really. So I thought, oh, it's just a scam. And then I kept following her results on Facebook. And after about a year, I thought, maybe I just didn't give it enough of a chance. So I think I'm going to try it again. So I gave her a call, and they said, so I think I want to try these wraps again. And I don't think I gave it really a fair shot. And then she explained to me, well, 1 is a treat and 4 is a full treatment, and every body is different, and explained the loyal customer program. And I thought, well, I can commit to 3 months. And then she said, and it's only, $40 more than a box of wraps if you want to try to be a distributor, and you can earn $120 in free product credit if you get 4 loyal customers in your first 30 days. And she had me at free product because I love free stuff. I said, okay, I'll give it a try. And then I followed that up with, but I am not going to do this as a business. I will go for the free product, but I am not going to do this as a business. And she said, that's fine, just give it a shot and see where it goes. So I didn't tell anybody I was wrapping, not even my husband. And I joined September 26th, and I got my wrap the following week and took the pictures, and I set the camera up, and I stood on the exact same tile square for each picture. And the first one I didn't really see much, and I'm not very good at following directions, and I didn't drink any water, so I had a headache. And then the second wrap, 72 hours later, I had a headache again, and I started to feel a little nauseous. So I sent her a message, and I said, I have a wrap on, and I'm really not feeling very well. And she said, well, increase your water intake to 48 ounces. And I just started laughing because I hadn't drank any water. So I started drinking the water, and then 24 hours after my third wrap is my picture that I posted in the call, and it was phenomenal. And I knew when I woke up that morning that there was something drastic that had happened, even before I looked in the mirror or compared the pictures. And so then I thought, well, now that I know that it works, I started posting some of the pictures she was posting, and I got a lot of interest right away. I still wasn't using any of the other products. I have done massage, and will still do, and I'd worked for a lot of chiropractors, and that tried other supplements, and maybe they helped a little bit, but I didn't really think that they were ever really worth the money that they cost. So I finished my 4 wraps, and then I posted my picture one day, but I didn't say it was me. And within a couple minutes, I had people calling me, messaging me on Facebook, or sending me texts asking if it was me, and I couldn't lie. And things really, really took off from there. So then I thought, well, if it won't work, then I'm going to give some of these other products to try and started with the greens, and the greens are a life changer. I mean, I've heard this from so many people on our team, and I'm one of those people. Until I experience it for myself, I'm just not going to believe it. And I'm like that with everything in life. I'm so skeptical. But I noticed more energy, just in, cravings in general, just feeling so much better, and slowly started to implement the other products. The hair, skin, and nails, my hair grew over 3 inches in 25 days. Wow. The new you, I used to be on a prescription medication and to help me sleep, and was on that for a long time. And then when that prescription ran out, I started using over-the-counter medication, and now I don't take anything. I just take the new you, and every product that I've tried, I say this almost on a daily basis. I'm like a walking cheesy infomercial because I'm so passionate. Because I've had such phenomenal results with everything that I've tried. I've absolutely fallen in love with. And if there would be a product that I tried and I didn't really like it, I wouldn't be able to be behind this 100% like I am. I know in my heart. I've heard people say, you don't find it works finds you, and I completely believe this. The products changed my life, and now the business opportunity has completely changed my life. So I'm so grateful for this whole It Works deal, the products and the business opportunity, and am so passionate about what it's done and what it can do for others. And, and we're just getting started, and that's so exciting for me. So that's pretty much my story. And
I love it. I want to spotlight something that you said that I don't even know if you realize it or not, but, I love the fact that you came in kind of like me, you just wanted to try it, and you're like, oh, I just want the free product, but really I think what kind of lit you on fire, so to speak, is the fact that you got those results that you got, because, they were pretty substantial results for your wrap, and I know that you were Facebook famous a week ago. It was circulating around a lot, and I thought that was so neat. But it's amazing to me that it can really spark a successful business just by using it. You don't even have to be a really great salesperson. You just have to be passionate like you are.
Right, and we were just at a vendor fair this weekend, and I was talking to people, and they said, I'm just not a salesperson, and I said, either am I. You don't have to be. You just have to be passionate about what you're doing and be a good storyteller. And, it's so much easier. I came from, indirect sales in the job that I was able to leave in July, thanks to It Works. But I wasn't a frontline seller, but I supported frontline sellers. And it's a brutal world. It really is. I came from wireless, and there's a lot of competition, and you have to be on your A game every day, and people are stepping on your toes. And that's the other thing that I love. This team, we really are one team, one mission, and everybody is out there to love and support and help one another. It's not like anything that I've ever experienced before. And I was with John Enter today, and I said, I'm so skeptical by nature, and even after I joined, I really couldn't believe that it was really, really as good as everybody said it was. And I had to experience it for myself, and it's phenomenal. The compensation plan is phenomenal. The people are phenomenal. From the top to the bottom, everybody is there really just, they want you to do well. And it's genuine. It's not, I want you to do well because I'm going to make more money, because people help me, that it doesn't change their paycheck in one little bit. And that's one thing that I really love too. So
I love that. It's true. And I guess I'll go into my background and my product journey so far. I also posted my before and after picture in our event page yesterday. I have a background in retail. At the time that It Works came to me in my life, I was working out and I was going to the gym, but I was having a lot of health issues. And, in fact, I was just talking to someone about this the other day. I was in and out of the hospital on a weekly basis for a few months, and there was a year where I was in the hospital so much that certain hospitals knew who I was. I'll never forget going in for procedures for my stomach, and they were like, "You're so young. I can't believe you're here again." I had severe digestive issues, kidney stones, ulcers, acid reflux. I can't even tell you the pain that I was in on a daily basis. And I was working full-time and I was in school full-time, and it was really taking a toll on my life. You know, like I was missing work, I was missing school. My now fiance was taking me to the hospital all the time. He was missing work. My dad would have to leave, or my mom, or, you know, whoever. It was a lot, and it was a lot of stress and worry and bills. And I was introduced to the wrap at a time where I was trying to lose some belly fat that I had anyway. I was going to the gym with a friend of mine who was a guy, and he had lost like 95 pounds. And I'm like, "How did you do it?" I've been dying to lose my belly fat, and the medicine that I was on, I was literally just gaining weight like crazy. And I remember feeling so bad about myself. I lost all of my self-confidence. I had never really been severely overweight like that until I went on the medicine, and I was so not confident. And I remember, you know, I would be asked often if I was having a child, and I, at the time, was 21. And that takes a toll on your self-esteem. And I remember my mom called me about the wrap, and I thought to myself, I'm like, man, if only this thing worked. But I just knew my mom wouldn't say something to me if it wasn't good for me. So shocker that a kid would say that about their mom, but it's true. And I knew my mom was on it. And I also know my mom, and when she gets her mindset on something, she's going to do it. And so she called me, and she said, "Caity, I tried this wrap, and here's what it did for me, and I'm really excited about these greens that they have, and they could really help you with your digestive issues." And at that point, I would have sold my soul to have a better stomach. Like, that's how I felt. And there were mornings I'd wake up and I couldn't even drink water because my stomach was so upset, and then it would be upset, and my whole day would be shot. So I thought, what do I have to lose? And if this works, you know I'm going to be a customer for sure. And so I went to a party, and I remember that she only had a certain number of wraps, so she's like, "I might not be able to wrap you, but I still want you to come and learn about the greens." And I came, and someone didn't wrap that night, so I was able to try her last wrap. And I put it on my stomach, and I was just praying, like, "Please, I hope this works." Like, I was just hoping that something would happen, even though I really honestly, in my heart, was so down mentally. I really honestly didn't have a lot of confidence that it would. I was like, watch, it's going to work on everyone but me. So I put it on, and I drank my water, and I watched everyone else get results because I had wraps more towards the end of the party. And I took it off, and at the time we measured. We don't do that anymore just because it's easier to take a picture. But I remember that I went up in my measurements in 45 minutes, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, what is this?" And you know, if you're an It distributor on the line, you know, sometimes people can get bigger in 45 minutes, and I thought, okay, like what's happening? And my mom was like, she's a researcher, so she said, "I read that this is good." You know, she was just starting out. She's like, "It's okay. You're going to get the best results. It's okay. Just drink a lot of water. It's probably just all the medicine that you're on, and it's just, you know, your body doesn't know what to do with all that gunk that this is releasing, and it's okay." And I was like, okay, and I was really upset. And I went home, and I did what she said. I drank so much water on my hour drive home. I want to say that I had to go to the bathroom like all night long. And I was just like, okay, this is going to work. I'm going to keep drinking my water. The next morning I woke up, and I took a picture before work. I opened that morning, and I sent it to my fiance, and I was like, "Here, put this side by side because I have no idea how to do that." And he sent the picture back to me, and then when I tell you that I screamed, I was so impressed by my results. I actually remember feeling like I was going to cry, like tear up, because I never thought my stomach was going to look like that again. And I was so excited, I honestly didn't think. So that's another thing, guys. Like, you don't need to know everything, but if you're excited, you're going to make other people excited. So I went to work that day, and I was, no joke, lifting up my shirt and showing my belly to all the girls in the back room. I was
awesome.
so excited. And I shared my results on Facebook with hopes that I can get my mom some business, because she was just starting out in her business, and I thought, let me put this on Facebook. I don't really know if I have time to do a business, but I do want free products, so I thought, maybe I can have a party for her. So I had crazy interest, and I put it up on Facebook, and I didn't answer anyone's questions because then I went to work for a few hours. I had a 15-minute break, and when I went on my break, I couldn't catch up with all the messages that I had because I did say that it was me. And that it was overnight, and people were like, what is this? How do I get it? And I didn't answer anyone's questions. So that's another tip I can give people. The less you say, the better, because then people have to ask you. And I know for me, that's what did it. And I sat with a piece of paper at the desk at work, and I think I had school that night, and I literally wrote people's names and numbers down. I didn't even know what I was doing. And I was like, Mom, I have a bunch of people that are interested. She's like, how many people? And I remember telling her it was like 30 or something crazy. And she's like, Kate, 30 times $25 a person. Like, you can make great cash, and it'll be great for school. So needless to say, I signed up as a distributor, like, as soon as I got home from work. And I remember that I joined, and I got the big booster pack, which I was so scared about because I didn't have any money. But because people were so interested, and I thought that they had to buy them, I started collecting money before I even started. So I sat there and I said, okay, it's $25 now. I think that they're $30 when they come in. So just, if you want to give me the money, I can get them, because I know my mom only has a certain number of them. And I literally just was having people pay my PayPal. And then when I started, it was the same thing. I only have X number of wraps, so if you want to reserve one, it's $25. And people were giving me cash. They were paying on my PayPal. Like, it was crazy. And so needless to say, I started gathering my 4 loyal customers. And it's funny that you said that, Lisa, because I was the same way. That was my focus. Like, I thought, if I can make like $100 a month, maybe even $200 a month to pay for product and maybe my school books, and get that 120 in free product, that would be awesome. So that was my first goal, and I called up my friends and family. I showed them my before and after picture, and I said, look, I need a couple more people to try this for me for a couple of months. I'll give you my discount with this loyal customer program that we have, and I would just love for you to be one of my first 4 so I get qualified. And people wanted to help me, and it was before I even had my launch party. I think I had my 4 loyal customers, and we didn't even have wraps at the time. They didn't come in for a couple of weeks because the company grew so fast that they couldn't make enough wraps. So I just used that to my advantage. I'm like, look, you better get in line and place an order because they're running out. And I just showed people my results. And really, honestly, it was just the fact that I was so excited, I couldn't help but share it with other people. So I got my 120 in free product, and I knew I wanted to be on those greens that my mom talked to me about. So I thought, well, we have these really great packs. I might as well go on a pack and just kind of see how my results do, and I'll be a walking billboard for my product. So I got the ultimate pack, which I don't even think they make anymore, which basically is everything. It's pretty much all of our supplements, our protein and everything. And I tried all of it because I knew I used my first paycheck that I got with It Works to buy that product, because I knew that if people saw me losing weight and feeling better with my stomach, that I was going to be awesome. And I started incorporating the greens first, and that's the one thing I remember, because within a few days the symptoms to my stomach issues were gone, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. I would, and I couldn't help but share that, because I knew so many other people who were having issues with their health. And so if you're listening for a tip about how to share this with people, when you're using the product and you're having life changes like Lisa had, and like how I'm saying that my stomach was so much better, when you love people, you can't help but share it with people. I'm like the crazy lady in the middle of my grocery store sometimes, and I'll hear people are sniffling or coughing or talking about how horrible their stomach is, and I can't help but share it with that person because what it did for me, I wouldn't trade that for the world. And you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have your health, you have nothing. And, so since then, I've lost over 50 pounds, and I've kept it off, which is huge. And the wraps have helped severely with extra skin that I got from losing all that weight, which can be just as traumatic as the weight loss itself. So if you have people in your life, you should be making mental lists, like listen to people's stories. That's how I got started, and share those stories and build your own testimony. I did an ultimate makeover challenge, and I was very vocal about my results. I would say, like, drinking my greens, posting a picture of my green water. I'd bring it to class. I'd bring it to work. I saw people all day long, even though I was busy, and I would just wrap them in the bathroom because I was sharing it without even trying. Like you said, Lisa, I'm like a walking infomercial. So, Lisa, I want to bring you back on, and I want you to just share, like, why is using the product, how has it built your team to a diamond status? Because that's pretty substantial for work from home income, with the way that things are. How did you use your testimony to build, I guess, your confidence and also build your business?
Well, it's after I had posted my picture, because I still wasn't going to do this as a business, even though I joined as a distributor right away. My cousin Michelle called me, and she said, I think I want to join. And I said, that's great. And I said, as a loyal customer distributor. And she said, well, if it worked that well for you, I think I want to sell it. And I was like, okay. So we talked for a while, and she said, I just know, I'm older than her, so, I've known her entire life. And her seeing my results gave her the confidence to become a distributor. So after I got done talking to her, I hung up the phone, and I just had this feeling, and I went out to the living room, and I told my husband, I said, so I just got off the phone with my cousin Michelle, and she's joining as a distributor, and I said, I just have this childlike faith that this is going to be the thing that changes our life. And so being able to have that trust and have that relationship with people and have that honest testimony about how this has changed me, I think is the key of why this business has grown and why it keeps growing. Because if I was trying to sell something to somebody every day, I wouldn't be able to do this. But when I'm able to share my results and let them decide for themselves and see what this can do for them, either the products or the products and the business, I think this is why it's working so well. Even today with strangers, coming up, and I had my results picture, and I'm pretty vocal too. That's me. That's my before, and now it's really funny. If you Google my name, my results picture comes up on a Google search. So my tongue really is famous.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, just having that personal connection and that honest testimony, being able to show people. I have my results on the phone, and I can show it to them, and I can talk to them. But if I was trying to sell this, if I was, walking up and saying, Caity, I would like to sell you these greens, I know nothing about them, I wouldn't be able to do it. So being able to have the real stories, and even if you haven't tried the product, like you said, using other people's until you build your testimony. You can, we have a girl on our team who was never wrapped because she was pregnant and then got pregnant again, so she's never actually wrapped, and she's a successful It Works distributor. So it can be done even if you can't use the product, just by using the stories from your friends and all of our pictures.
I love that. And one of the things I wanted to ask you also is, one of the objections I hear, probably at least once a month, with people being afraid to share their before and after picture, maybe they're embarrassed and or afraid of what people might think. What's something that you would say to that person that maybe is a little afraid of sharing their before and after picture?
Well, having the confidence to share your own picture, it's a big deal. I didn't want to share mine. I didn't want anybody to see my before picture and admit that it was me because it is embarrassing. And once I did it and saw how it helped other people, that was a big deal for me, even though that result also grew my business. But it helped people that probably wouldn't have reached out to me otherwise. So that's a pretty big deal in itself. And if somebody's not comfortable in posting their own picture, anybody can use mine. Anybody can use any of these other ones. I give everybody permission to use any of my photos. And then to build up to that confidence, and I think everybody will get there. I know it takes some, just like it takes a couple people more reps to get their results. It might take people a few more days to be able to share their results and be confident. But even if they don't want to post it on Facebook, a private message to do that. I have a distributor on my team that said, okay, I'm going to send you my results photo, but you have to promise me that you won't show anybody and you'll delete them, right after you're done looking at them. So she sent them to me, and I did. I deleted them. And now she is sharing them. But it's a big deal for people. And I do believe that everybody will get there when their confidence level is up there. But once you share your own personal results, your friends, it's going to be a big deal for them because they're going to have hope for themselves. So I do suggest sharing your own personal results when you're comfortable doing so, because it's a pretty big game changer, I think.
I agree. I think, too, one of the things that I said to somebody recently was, I know for me, when I started sharing my picture, I was embarrassed because, again, a lot of people in high school, it was funny when I started selling this, they're like, but you don't need it. And I showed my before picture because I would untag a lot of pictures on Facebook and stuff because I was so embarrassed. And when I started showing people what my before was, and even when I didn't really see results in myself, because you kind of have to build up that confidence. Before I had more confidence, I remember feeling scared, and I showed it to somebody one time, and I was like, oh, don't mind my belly, and they were like, no, like it's not you that I'm looking at, it's the result. Like they're not even, she's like, I'm not even focused on the fact that that's you. That's a big difference. So, one of the things you can say, too, is nobody really likes their before picture, but it's what the product is doing and how it's changing you that's going to change other people. And it's such an unbelievable thing. Both of us were a little bit skeptical, and I'm sure you were as well. So one of the things, too, is when people ask you if it really does work, it feels so great to just show them, like, yeah, this is me, or, like, this is my family. That helped my business tenfold. I definitely don't think I would be where I'm at if I didn't share my before and after picture, because it just built that momentum right from the get-go. So I guess the last thing I want to, because we're just about at a half hour now, so I don't want to keep anyone too much later, but Lisa, if you have like maybe a practical tip for somebody as far as using the product or maybe getting started on using the product, do you have any tips for how they can go about applying this so that they're not just learning this from us, but they can actually go out and apply it starting today?
Just getting started and being consistent. It's just like anything else in life. You have to be consistent with the products. You can't just try one fat fighter and be like, oh, I have a great story about that. Be consistent, see what it does for you, and just the sharing of how that's helped you, whether it be the wraps or, do a month of hair, skin, and nails, and take those pictures, because we don't see the changes in ourselves. You kind of touched on that already, and we're our own biggest critics. So if you don't have proof for yourself to put side by side to see those results to carry with you, nobody else is going to believe you. And you also brought up a really good point about having that confidence to say, hey, yeah, this is me. Today at that vendor event, if I would have just had a before and after picture and just said, yep, this is, here's somebody, I'm sure it's great too because they're all good pictures. But it is. It's a lot more powerful when you say, yep, this is me. That's my belly before, and this is the results after, and it's amazing. So, just being consistent and using the products as intended. Like I started the New You, and I was doing the 2 at night when I first started, but wasn't always remembering the 1 in the morning. And now I take the 2 at night, and I put the third one on my water glass. So it's the first thing that I do in the morning is take the other one, and it really, really dramatically affected the results of using New You. So use the products as directed would be a tip that I would have.
I love that. And I think the one thing I can say for that, if I had to say in an application, number one, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I remember when I was told that I had an anxiety disorder, I was so afraid to tell people that because I was like, oh, man, what are people going to think? But I can't tell you how many people have been changed by the Confianza and me sharing the fact that I was given prescription medication and that the Confianza is better for me. And don't be afraid and just own it. God made you perfect. You're not an accident. And I think that if you just own the fact that you are here for a reason and your testimony is going to completely change someone else's life, you're going to feel like you have to share. So that's my number one tip. And number two, I think that these holiday packs that we have right now are a perfect opportunity for people to try the products. They're at a huge discount. You can order a pack for yourself and for somebody in your family, and you guys can do it together. Have an accountability buddy, just like we do in our business. Hold someone else accountable. Commit to using one product or multiple if you're going to get a pack. Like whatever your budget can afford you, do it with a friend. It's more fun. And maybe in your household, you and your spouse, you guys can go on the greens for a month and see how you do. That's my number one, my 2 tips. And I think, if there's anything to take away from this call is that you should never stop listening to other people's stories, because I feel like I have a whole arsenal of stories so that when I get approached by someone, I can truly help them from someone's actual experience, because they don't care about all the stats and statistics of what it does. I mean, some people might, but at the end of the day, they want to know, does it work and how has it helped somebody else? And if they see it working on other people enough times, like you said, being consistent, they're going to try it. So, Lisa, you're always awesome to talk to. So thank you so much for putting this together with me, and thank you everyone for joining us. I'm going to get the recording out to everyone, but thank you. I'm excited to go and try new products now.
Yeah. Thank you, Caity, and your story is just a huge inspiration. And one last thing I have for anybody who's afraid of blitzing, Pam Souter says, you're one blitz card away from changing someone's life. And if you can look at it like we've been talking about on how it can change someone, don't look at it as, you're trying to sell them something. You really have something that can change their life. Don't be afraid of it. Own it and be confident. Thanks again, Caity. Love you.
I love you too. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Have an awesome weekend.